You're listening to Paradox Eclipse Theory, and this is Superheroes in the Dark Multiverse, when gods became monsters. Tonight, we enter Wakanda, but not the Wakanda you know. Beneath the rituals, beneath the throne, beneath the masked legacy of kings. Something older has been waiting, something with teeth. When tradition cracks open, and a monarch dares to reach for answers buried for 1,000 generations. The darkness doesn't whisper back. It devours. If you're enjoying this descent into forbidden lore, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with fellow Creepypasta fans. Drop a comment below. Your support helps this channel grow and brings more stories from the void. Now sit back, dim the lights, and let's begin. I felt the first crack in reality long before the cavern opened beneath me. Not a sound, not a tremor, a feeling like someone running a claw gently across the inside of my skull. By the time I realized it wasn't fatigue or grief, I was already too deep to turn back. The air underneath Mount Bashenga felt heavy enough to swallow. Every step echoed in my bones as if the cavern were inhaling me. The torchlight Shuri insisted I bring flickered against walls carved long before Wakanda had a name. I tried not to think about how the stone seemed to pulse, like breathing flesh. I kept repeating one truth to myself. I was never supposed to know about the Rite of the ancestor's teeth. My father hid it, so, well, I spent my entire childhood thinking the hush around it was only superstition. His father erased the markings from the archives. The Dora burned the last scroll. I should have listened. I should have believed the fear in their silence. But fear feels like cowardice when you are king, and Wakanda was already changing. That night, before I descended, Shuri had whispered to me in the lab, her voice trembling in a way I had never heard. "Brother, the ancestors aren't answering anymore." I tried to steady her, but her eyes stayed fixed on some invisible horizon. "They're not gone," I told her. "They're silent. That's worse." So when vibranium veins across the country hummed like something alive beneath the soil, when border sensors glitched with shapes they couldn't identify, when shadows began moving on their own, I made my choice. Now here I was, standing before the mouth of the oldest cavern in Wakanda, deeper than any map dared to show. The stone arch above the entrance had no carvings, only smooth, cold rock that felt wrong under my fingertips, like touching the rib of a creature that had died refusing to stay dead. I stepped inside. The path narrowed until I had to crouch. The torch hissed in the damp, its flame bending inward as if pulled towards something ahead. My heartbeat felt loud enough to betray me. "Focus, Chala," I whispered to myself. But my voice sounded smaller than I intended, swallowed instantly by the dark. The chamber appeared so suddenly I almost stumbled into it. The ceiling towered high above, disappearing into shadow. The floor was circular, etched with patterns that spiraled outward like the teeth of a gear. Or a jaw. At the center waited a stone pedestal. An ancient box rested on it, carved from a material I didn't recognize. Not metal, not wood. Something fibrous, like hardened bone. I approached slowly. Every instinct in me screamed to stop. My father's voice echoed in the back of my mind. I had not heard it since I last visited the ancestral plane. But now it cut through the air sharp as a blade. "Do not open that box, my son." I almost froze. The voice didn't come from memory. It came from nowhere, everywhere, vibrating through the stone. I clenched my jaw. "If you wish to guide me now, Baba," I whispered, "then show yourself." Only silence answered. I lifted the lid. Inside lay teeth. Not human, not even close. Long curved, serrated, some bent backward like hooks, some split at the tips like forked tongues. All of them slick with something warm, as if they had been growing, breathing, waiting. My stomach tightened. I had prepared myself to see something disturbing, but not this. Not teeth that pulsed faintly as if tasting the air. Not teeth that glistened as though they remembered blood. I reached out. I should have stopped. I should have sealed the cavern, burned the box, and told Shuri nothing existed here. But Wakanda's borders were tearing open by themselves, and I was desperate. Kings make choices warriors should never have to make. I touched one tooth. It twitched. I snatched my hand back, breath catching. For a moment I thought I imagined it. Then the tooth shifted again, like a newborn creature stretching its limbs. The ritual demanded one thing. Take the teeth of your ancestors. Place them in your own mouth. Speak their names. These were not my ancestors. Still, I lifted the tooth. My fingers shook. Sweat stung my palms inside the suit. My own heartbeat sounded distant, as if I listened to someone else breathing through my chest. I raised the tooth to my lips. "This is madness," I whispered, but I pressed it against my gums. A cold shock shot through me, like plunging my face into frozen water. The tooth adhered instantly, rooting itself deeper than any flesh should allow. My vision blurred. I tasted metal. No, not metal. Something older. I staggered and grabbed the pedestal to steady myself. Then the world split open. Light and shadow twisted around me, tearing the chamber away. Colors inverted. Sound collapsed into a low hum that vibrated through my bones. My feet no longer touched stone. The air thickened until I felt suspended in it. I didn't see the spirits of kings. I didn't see Bast. I didn't see anything that had ever known Wakanda. I saw them. Dozens. Hundreds. Panther shapes made of shadow, but stretched too thin, with limbs bending the wrong way and jaws that opened sideways. Their teeth clicked together in rapid tremors, producing a sound like insects crawling beneath skin. They circled me like starving animals. "Chala." Their voices layered over each other, whispering in a chorus that twisted my spine. "You called the first Panther King." We answered. My breath hitched. I tried to speak, but my throat closed. I willed my legs to move, run, fight, leap, but nothing in my body obeyed. The ritual had anchored me. Mind, body, spirit, all tethered to their plane. One of them stepped forward. Massive. Its body rippled like liquid shadow, muscles shifting beneath something that wasn't fur. A crown of writhing bone curled around its head like snapped ribs. Its eyes glowed violet. The color vibranium emits only when it is dying. It lifted my chin with a single claw. We were here before Bast. Its breath reeked of ancient dust and forgotten graves. Before Wakanda. Its smile widened unnaturally. Before the humans who borrowed our name and our shape. The tooth in my mouth throbbed. Pain spread across my jaw, sharp, pulsing, hungry. I felt something shift beneath my gums. Something pushing outward. "Return our teeth, Panther." The creature leaned closer. Pain detonated in my skull. My vision fractured. I tasted blood as my own teeth began falling out, pushed free by the ancient ones forcing their way deeper. I screamed, but only a low, rattling hiss escaped. Shadows tore around me, and I felt myself sinking into them, into the dark, into the hunger of things that should never have been summoned. And as the last piece of myself flickered, I heard the whisper again, curling around me like a noose tightening. "Open the way, Chala. Let us hunt again." The first thing I felt when the world snapped back into my body was the weight of the cavern pressing down on me, like the mountain wanted to swallow the mistake I had just made before anyone else could see it. My vision wavered between two planes, the stone-lit chamber where I knelt, and the shadow realm still clinging to my skull like a second skin. My hands shook. They weren't shaking from fear. They were shaking because I could still feel the teeth in my mouth rooting deeper, slow and deliberate, like claws sinking into soil. Shuri's voice echoed faintly through my Kimoyo bead. "Brother, do you read me? You've been underground for too long. Your vitals, something is wrong." A pulse of heat crawled up my spine. The creature's voices layered beneath my heartbeat. "Do not answer her." I stood slowly, teeth grinding. My own teeth, or the new ones, clicked in a pattern that felt like someone knocking from the inside of my skull. I forced myself to speak. "I'm fine." It came out lower, rougher, like something was speaking through me. There was a long pause. "That did not sound like you." I could almost see her frown. I could almost hear her pacing in her lab, fingers tapping against a console in that nervous rhythm she swore she didn't have. I wanted to reassure her. I wanted to tell her I was coming back. But my vision flashed again, shadows flickering along the edges, spines of teeth scraping across invisible surfaces. "Come back?" "No, Panther. Go deeper." A cold breath touched the back of my neck. I spun, claws instinctively extending, rasping against the cavern walls. The glow of the ancient symbols seemed dimmer now, as if retreating from me. But the air behind me was empty. Empty in this world, not empty in the other. I swallowed hard, tasting metal. Something warm. Something not mine. I turned toward the stone staircase I had descended hours before. I needed to get back to the surface, back to Shuri, back to anything that wasn't whispering in my head. But the cavern shifted. Not metaphorically. The walls pulsed inward, the stone grinding like an enormous creature flexing around its meal. Dust rained from above. My heart pounded. This place wasn't a tomb. It was a throat, and I was too deep inside it. I stepped forward, but the shadows moved first. Long, thin shapes peeled off the walls, almost panther-like, but too stretched, too broken. Their jaws opened sideways, like hinged traps, revealing shimmering rows of new-growing teeth that clicked hungrily at the sight of me. A voice stirred again, layered, impossible. You wore our teeth. You tasted our name. Why do you run from what you asked for? I clenched my jaw. Pain shot through me as the roots of the teeth dug deeper into my gums. I did not ask for you. You called the first Panther King. We were the first. Before your gods. Before your line. Before Wakanda learned fear. One of the creatures crawled forward. Its spine bent like wet rope. Its eyes glowed with violet light, the same dying vibranium hue that had haunted my visions. I braced for the attack. Instead, it circled me, sniffing. The sound was like dry leaves rustling inside a grave. Another voice joined it, rasping. You smell like the surface. Like sunlight. We remember sunlight. A third creature slunk closer. Break the seal. Open the way. I tried to step back, but my foot caught on the uneven stone. Pain flared through my jaw again. Hot, twisting pain that made my vision double. The creatures leaned in eagerly, as if savoring the agony. Stay back. My voice cracked. No king, no warrior, no mask. Just a man losing control of his own body. Shuri's voice broke through the dissonance. Chala, respond, or I'm sending the Dora down there. I hissed between my teeth as something inside me twitched with anger. No Dora. No humans. They will not survive the crossing. Crossing? Images unspooled behind my eyes. Dark tunnels beneath Wakanda. Ancient paths carved when the world was still cooling. A gate beneath the mountain. A gate sealed not to keep something out, but to keep something in. The first Panther King hadn't spoken to spirits. He had bargained with monsters. And I had just given them something they had been denied for centuries. A voice. A vessel. A king's blood. The cavern trembled again. A deep groan shivered through the walls, like the mountain exhaling. The creatures stepped back in unison. Not out of fear. Out of reverence. Something else was waking. Stone cracked overhead. Thin, hairline fractures spread across the ceiling like skeletal fingers. Violet light pulsed through the cracks. Not light, glow. Bioluminescent. Living. A larger shape unfolded from the shadows, dragging behind it trails of dripping darkness that evaporated when they touched stone. The same massive creature that had touched my chin in the other realm. The crowned one. My breath caught in my throat. Its arrival made the air colder. Heavier. More ancient. It lowered its head until its face hovered inches from mine. Its sideways jaw retracted, revealing its main mouth, broad, jagged, lined with the same serrated teeth now embedded in my own gums. Its voice wasn't a whisper this time. It was a command that rattled the marrow in my bones. Were them? My teeth, my human teeth, cracked further. I gasped as two more split and fell into my palm, slick and warm. In their place, the monstrous ones pushed through, sharp and curved. I felt a drop of blood slide down my chin. The creature sniffed it. Good. You are becoming us. I staggered backward. My head throbbed. My heartbeat stuttered. Shadows crawled across my skin like living tattoos. I forced out words through clenched jaws. Wakanda will not fall to you. The crowned creature tilted its skull. Fall. No, Panther. Wakanda will return to what it was before your kind claimed the earth. Before your goddess stole our throne. The cavern vibrated. The fractures above widened. Something moved behind them. Something with too many legs and too many eyes. Open the way, the creature repeated. Or your people will open it for us. My Kimoyo bead crackled. Shuri's voice sharpened with panic. Brother, seismic readings just spiked beneath you. Whatever is happening, get out now. Blood dripped from my mouth. My jaw throbbed with every pulse. I glanced at the staircase again, my only escape. The crowned creature stepped aside. Run, Panther. Let your fear sharpen you. The deeper you flee, the clearer our path becomes. I didn't understand the words at first. Then it smiled, a slow, terrible, knowing stretch of bone and teeth. It wanted me to run, because I was the beacon, the gateway. The more the teeth grew, the stronger the connection became. I wasn't trapped because they wanted to kill me. I was trapped because they wanted me alive. The thought hit me so hard I nearly fell. I wasn't the summoner. I was the door, and the door was opening. I turned and bolted toward the staircase, heart slamming against my ribs, the creature's clicking teeth echoing behind me like applause. As I sprinted, the cavern reshaped itself around me, shadows slithering ahead, walls shifting, distant roars vibrating through the stone. The crowned creature's voice followed me, deep and triumphant. "Run, Chala. Run back to your kingdom. We will be right behind you. And when the teeth finish growing, you will open the way." The first thing I felt was the cold, a deep, crawling cold that seeped through the new teeth in my skull. It wasn't air. Air has warmth somewhere inside it. This was something older, something that had never belonged to the world above. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in the cavern anymore. I was standing in what looked like a valley made entirely of ribs. Colossal bones arched over me, stretching into a horizon that bent like a broken spine. The ground was dark sand, but it shifted like ash when I stepped. Every footprint glowed faint violet for a moment before fading, and the whispers were already waiting. "Panther King, you crossed the threshold." I turned slowly. They were perched everywhere, on the ribs, on the shimmering dunes, in the cracks where the darkness looked thicker than shadow. Each creature shaped like a panther only in the loosest sense. Limbs too long, joints bending inward, jaws that split open like they were unfolding. For a moment, I forgot to breathe. Shuri's voice slid through my mind, quiet, fragile, almost fearful. "Brother, if the ancestors aren't answering, something is blocking them." I swallowed the rising terror. Or I tried. The new teeth scraped against each other with a soft clicking sound, and the creatures around me shivered in unison, as if delighted. From the distance, a tremor rippled across the valley. The ash ground cracked. Something enormous was approaching, slow, deliberate, ancient. The crowned one. It emerged from behind a spine so large it could have been the skeleton of a mountain. Its crown wasn't metal. It was bone, constantly knitting and unknitting itself, weaving through its skull in slow, pulsing motion. Its eyes glowed a dim violet, duller now, like dying stars. It spoke, every word scraping through the valley like claws across stone. "You stand in the first shadow, the birthplace, the burial place, the forgotten place." My throat tightened. "What do you want from me?" A ripple ran through the gathering creatures. Their bodies twitched as if something pulled invisible strings. "Want." The crowned one leaned forward. Its breath smelled of cold minerals. "We remember." I felt the world tilt. "Remember what?" "That you came from us." My pulse hammered. "I am Wakandan. I am the son of Chaka, the Panther King." The crowned one clicked its teeth, hundreds of tiny, serrated spines vibrating in a rapid chitter. The entire valley echoed it. "You speak of the borrowed, of the painted, of the shape we allowed you to imitate." The ground beneath me darkened. Something warm spread between my toes. When I looked down, a black liquid was seeping from the ash, thick, slow-moving, pulsing, a pool forming around me. "Wakanda's first bloodline," the crowned creature whispered, lowering its massive head until our faces nearly touched, "was carved from our shadows. Bast only claimed what we abandoned." My breath left me. No, this was wrong. Bast was the first. Bast was divine. Bast gave us the mantle. But the crowned one wasn't finished. "We did not choose you. You chose us." Through the teeth. I touched my jaw. It burned hot, unbearably hot, as if the roots were burrowing deeper. "You will open the way," it said. "No," I whispered. "I will not lead you to Wakanda." Dozens of creatures tilted their heads at the same slow angle. Their violet eyes pulsed. "You already have." A pulse went through the air, so strong my knees buckled. The valley flickered around me like a dying flame. For a moment, I saw reality bleed through. The cavern beneath Mount Bashenga, the stone altar, the box of teeth lying open like a wound. Voices echoed through the overlap. Shuri's voice, sharp, panicked. "Brother, can you hear me?" The door outside the cavern, shouting, metal ringing, something slamming. The crowned creature chuckled, the sound like dry bones tumbling down a well. "You left the gate open. They smell your fear. They taste it." I forced myself to stand. The ash sucked at my feet like hands trying to drag me under. "I will close it. You will feed it." It stepped so close the ground sank under its weight. "You are ours now. Your blood carries the code of our return." "I am not yours." My voice cracked, but I said it again. I am not yours. Something changed then, subtle, but I felt it. The violet glow in the creature's eyes flickered. The crowned one's jaw tensed. You resist. The crown of bones twisted tighter. Interesting. A shockwave rolled through the valley. The pool of black liquid around my feet surged upward, climbing my legs like tendrils. It felt cold and warm at the same time, like sinking into a memory you didn't want to remember. My heart thundered as it reached my chest. No, no, stop. The creatures all whispered together, a chorus scraping through my skull. Open the way. Let us hunt again. Pain stabbed through my jaw. My teeth grew, jagged, obsidian, clicking in uncontrollable rhythm. My vision darkened, split, refracted. I could see the valley and the cavern at the same time. Shuri's silhouette blurred into the crowned creature's looming shape. Two worlds overlapping through me. My legs trembled. The black tendrils crawled higher, curling around my arms, my ribs, reaching for my throat. I fought. I dug my fingers into the ash. I tried to pull myself out, but the valley responded with a single, collective whisper. Panther, come home. A claw erupted from the pool, thick, monstrous, gripping my chest. The crowned creature leaned closer. You are the hinge, the body, the sacrifice. The tendrils reached my face. Chala, brother, stay with me. Shuri's voice broke through for a moment, sharp, desperate. I grabbed onto it like a lifeline. Shuri, the crowned one froze. The valley stilled. Every creature fell silent. A sound like tearing cloth ripped through the air, the sound of two realities pulling against the same anchor. Me. The crowned creature snarled, low, furious. They pull you away, but we planted our root. We will devour the soil, until it grows again. The tendrils tightened around my throat. The world snapped, light and dark colliding, the valley collapsing inward, and I felt myself falling. Not forward, not backward, down, into something deeper than either world. As the darkness swallowed me, I heard their final whisper, right inside my skull, where the new teeth rooted deep. We are patient, Panther King. Wakanda walks on our graves. And you will dig them open. I wonder where you're watching from tonight. Somewhere in Wakanda, maybe? Or somewhere far beyond its borders, where the old things still whisper beneath the earth. Tell me in the comments, what realm are you listening from? I like to know where the echoes of the ancestors' teeth still travel. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before the shadows under Mount Bashenga notice you listening. Stay safe out there. And if you ever see a figure wearing the panther habit, standing too still, breathing too slow, smiling with teeth that don't belong to any human lineage, don't call out to him. Don't even look twice. This has been Paradox Eclipse Theory. Until next time, keep your lights on. And whatever you do, don't answer when the ancestors whisper back.